Hi there and welcome back to Small Engines Questions and Answers video number 9 for Friday, August 13th, 2010. Here's what's on the go for my current projects. I've got an old John Deere 316 tractor that I'm doing a paint job for a guy. It's all apart. So you'll be seeing a video series regarding this paint job in the near future. So question number 1 today is, what type of wrenches, ratchets, and sockets do you use? Do you find 12 pointers more convenient than 6 pointers? Thanks and keep posting. Well, I find both convenient. I use the 6 pointers more often, and I'll show you why. Here's a 6 pointer, meaning 6 points inside the socket here. There's a 12 pointer, so you can see there's more ridges inside. I like to use the 6 pointers more often because there's less chance of the socket stripping on the nut. So you can see there's less points, therefore less weak links in the socket or places for the nut to strip. Now where I do prefer the 12 pointers is when you're working in a tight spot and when you put the socket on the bolt, there's not much room to get it to fit on the socket. I find a 12 pointer has more points. Therefore, you can just move it about 1/8 of an inch and lock it into the bolt or nut you're removing. Whereas with the 6 pointers, sometimes you have to move it almost a 1/4 inch before you can get it in. So when you're in a tight spot, the 12 pointers work the best, and that's when I use them. But most of the time, I use 6 pointers. Now for ratchets, I buy only tools that are warranted for life. So I've got a Craftsman ratchet here. And these are Mastercraft. They're warranted for life as well. They're a Canadian store here called CanadianTire.ca, and they are warranted for life as well. I prefer the ratchets with the lever up top here because when you're in a tight spot, you can't put your hand in. You can always put a finger in and put it in reverse or forward motion. Whereas with this, sometimes it's a bit harder. You gotta work it more to get it to reverse direction. But you can also get Craftsman with the little lever here as well. And I'll use a breaker bar when something's on really tight, because when it's so tight sometimes you can bust the insides of your ratchets, and I've done that in the past. I especially use the breaker bar to remove lawnmower blades and any other bolts that are big and hard to get off. So this is what I use. I do have more ratchets in my collection, but this is a brief overview of what I use mostly every day. The second question today is, where do you dispose of your old oil and gas? What I usually do is collect all my oil in 5-gallon pails, as you can see here. This one here is full, and I've got the second pail over here that I'm going to start filling up. If I run out of room, I just store oil in 1-gallon containers like that. Of this is at our local landfill site. They have a couple days a month where you can bring in paint, chemicals, old oil, or anything for free, and they will take it, but they're only designated days that they will take these chemicals. So you have to hang on to them until the date is up, and then you take it in, they take it for free, and you got rid of all your old oil. The next question today is, somebody had purchased a lawn tractor with a Briggs 17.5 industrial commercial engine. He stored it for the winter. After it started up, it wouldn't run right. It would surge up and down. What he used is marine stable fuel stabilizer to store it, and he's wondering if that could have caused the problem. Well, I can't see that being a problem because stabilizer will work for practically any fuel. The marine stabilizer could be a bit better than regular stable, so that could cause the problem. Make sure that when you store equipment with fuel stabilizer that you've ran the engine so that the fuel containing the stabilizer has a chance to work its way through into the carburetor. Best way to put stuff away is to run the carburetor dry, fuel tank dry, and the whole works. Then you're sure there's nothing in there that can go bad, whether it's got stabilizer in it or not. Today I'm going to throw in a fourth question. Fourth question today is there an idle screw in lawnmowers, or how can you do adjustments on lawnmowers? While most new lawnmowers, there is only an idle adjusting screw, some of the old lawnmowers had a fuel adjusting screw as well. So first of all, I'll show you on the Tecumseh where the idle adjusting screw is. The only screw adjustment on this Tecumseh is right here. And usually that is to adjust the speed, or if you want it to go a bit faster, but it doesn't do a heck of a lot. There's no adjusting screw underneath whatsoever either, so that's a Torx screw there. On this Briggs 3.5 Classic, there's no adjusting screw here. Some of them do have a little screw here. The only adjustment is this thing here. If you bring it back, it'll go slower. If you bring it forward, it'll go faster. If you tighten up this spring, it will run faster. But I will make a video in the future to show how to bring up the speed on your lawnmowers with no adjusting screws on them. So that's going to have to be in a separate video. On some of the old Briggs Quantum, there's an adjusting screw over here for the carb, and also another screw up top, I believe, for the idle. On some of the old Briggs 3.5 Classic, you will find an adjusting screw back here, and that's for adjusting the fuel mixture in the carburetor itself. Now, these old machines ran with a throttle cable, that's why you had more control as to the idle and everything. And there's a screw right here on the butterfly mechanism, and that was for the idle. So if you turn it in, it would idle faster. If you turn it out, it would idle slower. Also, if you tighten up this spring, they will turn at a higher RPM. So that'll conclude our small engines question and answer video for today. Hopefully it helped out some people. And we'll see you in the next video of questions and answers next Friday. Take care now.